Glenn, thanks for the video. When you said get paid before you hand over the mixes, does that mean get paid before sending the mix for feedback or get paid before sending over the final product? Thanks, Glenn.
All right, let's pay attention here so there's no confusion. I'm not stuttering. I'm going to say this directly. Get paid in full before you hand over anything. If you give the mix to the band without being paid, you will never see them again. You will not get your money. Doesn't matter what they promise, doesn't matter how they beg or plead, they will vanish into the vapor. You'll never see them again and you will be ripped off. Never, ever give out anything under any circumstances without being paid in full. Get your money. You did the work, you deserve to get paid. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Hey everybody, how's it going? I should be in the Netherlands this weekend. I'm going to be doing a fan meetup probably the night of the 26th in Amsterdam. So if you're watching this, yes, I'll put some stuff on my socials. Make sure you're following my Instagram, Facebook, all that kind of stuff, even the YouTube community page. And I'll let you know the details of where and when to meet up. I hope to see you. Amsterdam's a super cool city. I always look forward to visiting it. So if everything goes according to plan, I should be there this weekend. I'm shooting this on August the 2nd, by the way. I'm just making sure I get all this stuff done before I take off. That being said, this episode is brought to you by Specter Digital. That's my company. We're doing all kinds of cool courses and software and that kind of thing, including the Singularity Base. We're going to have some details on that in a few minutes. But anyway, let's get right to your comments and questions.
I like how you pointed out that using a credit card was a risky idea. As someone who has around $10,000 in debt, it all started small, but before I knew it, after one guitar, a piano, a set of monitors, and a few other things, the interest they charged ended up being higher than a minimum payment, which was all I could afford. It was a terrible weight to bear for years. I had to take out a loan from my bank to pay them off. Never touching a credit card again for as long as possible. I was an idiot and had to learn the hard way.
Wow, I've definitely had my credit card get built up, but the thing is, if you can't pay that thing off at the end of the month, don't buy whatever it is. Trust me. The pleasure you will get out of the thing you bought is not going to outweigh the agony it's going to put you through for the lifetime of servitude it's going to attach you to. You're going to spend a very long time paying off a debt. Remember, credit card companies are in the business of keeping you in debt and making you work hard. And it's not just you. They've got tens or hundreds of thousands of other people in exactly the same position. And they are laughing all the way to the bank because you're paying them for the privilege of owing them money. Don't be a sucker. Unless you can afford it, don't buy it. Ever.
You speak the truth, sir. After completing a basement remodel to make it a recording studio, I offered a local band in Columbus, Ohio, one free song so I could tweak the control room. 16 hours into recording just the drums, I quietly quit recording bands. I'm glad you're warning those folks considering this as a business. It's tough, frustrating, gross, and unrewarding.
Oh, don't you just love those guys? Yeah, I started out charging flat rates because I thought, the bands would come in and we'd make some awesome stuff. And it didn't turn out that way. They were just, want to take after take after take after take after take after take, looking for perfection that they couldn't possibly have any chance of performing. It was driving me absolutely fucking insane. It's like you fucking nailed it. It's like we're talking about the smallest minutia in the performance difference. I remember talking with one guy, oh yeah, I'm going to come in and we'll do like 1,000 takes on a guitar solo. I'm like, 1,000 fucking takes, dude. If you can't fucking get it wrong in 3, you're not ready. It's like 1,000 takes, dude. If you can't get it right in 3, you've got no business coming into this 1,000 takes. You out of your fucking mind? What kind of a fucking narcissistic douchebag insists on 1,000 takes for its fucking guitar solo? Believe me, nobody's going to care. Reminds me of the time I gave away some studio time to a local band. They came in and they wanted to do a 10-song album in a day. These guys could really kick ass, but again, it's like the complete opposite. It didn't take them all day to get the drums down. They came in and kicked ass. I wanted to get one song. They wanted to do 10. I'm like, guys, there's no possible way we can do 10 songs in a day. Track and mix. It's musicians from all parts of the spectrum. They're all fucking delusional. Fun job, though.
All the things you mentioned in this video happened to me, and that's why I eventually said, fuck this, after 10 plus years of hard work. Since then, I've sold off all my gear and moved on with my life. To say that being a local recording studio working out of your home is soul-crushing is an understatement.
Yes, of course you're referencing my video, 13 mistakes to avoid when recording bands. Yeah, that's the thing. Running a local recording studio, you go in with high hopes and then the reality sets in and then you realize that the job really does suck and it's not very rewarding recording local bands because they just can't fucking play their instruments very well and don't want to pay them. There's just so much bullshit attached to it. All I can say at this point is, like, you know what? Don't open up a studio to record local bands. open up, just get a home studio and record yourself. You'll have a far better time doing it than dealing with the local idiots. That's a lesson hard learned.
Too long didn't read. Exotic gear probably won't solve your problem. I bought a $1,200 Josephson E22S mic to use on snare drum after hearing so many wonderful things and demos about this mic on the snare. I wasn't getting the sound I wanted. I figured just throwing cash in an exotic mic would do the trick. The mic did sound good on the snare, but it was still wanting. I started doing more live work and didn't get to take a $1,200 snare mic on stage. I sold it and bought a slightly used Bear Dynamic M201TG for $250. The first time I heard a snare sound come in the speakers, I had a grin because it wouldn't leave my face. I've since bought 2 more for other uses, and I'm still ahead of the E22s on price.
Yeah, I remember really going through down the whole snare sound rabbit hole, trying different heads, trying different snare wires, trying this, trying that, just not getting the results I wanted. Then I had some drummer come in and just get me this amazing snare sound. He's like, oh yeah, dude, it's just rim shots. That's the key to a great snare sound, especially for heavy rock. Make this drummer play rim shots all the time. The short version for all you drummers out there going, what the fuck's he talking about? The head goes piff, the rim goes crack. We want the crack. Get more crack in your recordings.
Just curious, if you can get an act that just can't perform under a microscope, do you keep going to cash out, or do you sit them down and explain they're just not ready?
I have never once had a problem throwing a musician out of the studio who wasn't prepared. It's like, go home, learn the stuff, stop wasting your money, stop wasting my time. Seriously, step the fuck up, do the job that you're required to do. If not, then quit. I've never felt good about taking people's money to watch them sit here and fuck up their tracks. It's incredibly frustrating, just not only on a creative level, but on a moral level as well. I just can't take people's money when they haven't done the work.
And the last thing, never start working on a project when the material isn't finished. We'll be sending you the songs as we write them is a great recipe for a fucking failure.
There, sage advice right there. If you want to get a band in the studio and they're not finished writing the fucking songs, no, do not let them in the fucking studio. Tell them you want to hear at least, a little demo tape of what they've done at band practice. Tell them to throw a little recorder up in the corner or something like that so you can review the songs ahead of time so you can see where there might be any potential trouble spots. If they can't even do that, they've got no business coming anywhere near close to a studio. All right, guys, this episode's brought to you by my company, Spectre Digital. We've got the brand new Singularity virtual bass instrument. Should be out by now by the time of shooting this. I'm shooting this on August the 2nd. Fingers crossed it's ready for full release. If not, it's still in pre-release. Sounds really cool. We've been doing a lot of cool stuff with it. We've also got the Prism platform under development that's real close to being released. And of course, we've also got ELE 2.0 should be out by this time, and if it's not, it will be. Check the links in the description below. We've added so much into ELE 2.0. We've added extra toms, extra sounds, extra snares, extra tweakability, and all these onboard effects that you can tweak, and we've even got some really cool presets by yours truly. It's definitely worth taking a look at. Super affordable, super awesome, and will go toe-to-toe with anything else out there. Links in the description below. Check it out, Spectre Digital. You definitely don't want to miss out on this. Anyway, now it's time for the Butthurt of the Week.
Totally wrong, LOL.
So I'm wrong about the nearly 25 years of experience I've had running a home studio. I'm just making up all these stories about all the bands I've worked with that have fucking wasted my time and wasted my fucking life when they come in and just fuck up their way through the tracks. I'm completely full of shit. Hey, you know what? Get fucked. You know what, man? Let's cut the fucking bullshit and get right to the point. This is based on real world experience. This is what most people are going to deal with. We're not the magical man from Happy Land. This is how fucking homes or recording studios really fucking work. And if you can't handle the truth, then you're not ready for the fucking job. Okay, guys, it's time for a rapid fire round.
Just an amateur question. Is the guitar pickups humbuckers more important or a good amplifier?
Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of information out there about pickups, and most of it's written by marketing departments with the sole goal of selling you pickups. Here's how it goes. Here's what it is, terms of importance of guitar sound in order. Number one, the speaker and the cabinet. That is the absolutely critical point. They're usually hidden behind grill cloths so nobody thinks about them, but honestly, that's the key right there. Get a great speaker. Your guitar is going to sound great no matter what amp you plug in. The amp is number two, and then number three is the pickups. The pickups will change your tone about that much if you're playing at gain. So keep that in mind and look to work on the important things first, like speakers. Good luck, dude.
The idea of having a room with bunk beds for the band members in the studio has got to be one of the worst ideas mankind has ever had. Cannot believe somebody actually tried that. Like, what a great way to get the worst parts of running a studio combined with all the worst parts of running an Airbnb. On top of that, you're basically ensuring that you'll get the worst clients possible. Musicians so broke or cheap, they won't get hotel rooms.
Yeah, I had musicians stay overnight once. That was enough.
When a band told me, your mixes sound better, but this other guy has X compressor, that's really cool, so we're gonna go there, I realized it's time to quit.
You mean you didn't just spend thousands on the X brand compressor? Why the hell not?
I work in a distribution warehouse for vinyl records, and we're in the process of moving to a bigger warehouse because vinyl keeps getting more and more popular, and we've been running out of space. It's awesome to see, and I think the vinyl resurgence is an amazing thing for the music industry.
Yeah, I love the vinyl stuff. I did a video there on Deep Grooves Manufacturing there in Leeuwarden, Netherlands there a couple years back. That was really cool. The cool thing is I was walking around downtown Toronto, there's a couple of actual real record stores that have popped up. That's fucking great. I love the whole vinyl thing. I think it's awesome because it gives us a different experience. It's like mixing on hardware. It's a different experience than the digital thing. Sure, it's great to have 8 billion songs on your cell phone. That's great. But there's another thing where you take an album out of a sleeve, put it on the turntable, and you focus your attention on that. And you just listen front to back. That's something I haven't done in a very long time. That's something I really need to do. Time to break out my turntable.
Yes, beware of insurance companies. I'm a professional photographer who used to have a home-based studio. On one occasion, the insurance company asked me for what work I did. I mentioned that I did actors' headshots and model portfolios. The price doubled because they were wrongly convinced I was going to be having people like Tom Cruise and Naomi Campbell popping in all over the time and them having them in the back of my car. That was so far from the truth.
Yeah, that sucks. That's the same thing like I had. It's like if I did guitar lessons in my studio, insurance rates would be cheap, but because I'm doing recordings, the price was triple. Gotta love insurance companies.
Hi Glenn, I would love to hear your thoughts on pre-production. I've recorded before and been surprised when both good and bad at what I heard when it was played back. Do you think it's worthwhile doing home recordings to bring a producer before stepping into a studio and recording? Would you rather sit on a practice session with a band prior to hear the songs?
As I mentioned earlier, I would rather just get a tape. I've done that with several bands. We had a couple big projects come in. I'm like, why don't you guys make a little recording first, and then we can kind of listen to the songs and see if there's room for improvement. And it's definitely given me a great insight. For number one, I know what I'm getting myself into, and number two, we can look at the weak spots of the songs and say, okay, how can we make this better? And that's worked out great. Here's the thing, man. I have never fucking done one recording session ever where I said to the band, hey guys, you know what? You just did way too much ahead of time. This is just way too easy.
I live in a town where every teenager wants to be a rapper and they send in beats that they either store or sell like trash cans getting smashed by a submarine. I rarely get any metal or rock people. All the old people that can actually play their instruments all play country and my ears just bleed. But hey, it's side money that help my family and I go on vacations as much as I think the music sucks, LOL.
Never turn down paid work. I've always had that motto here in the studio is I'll work with anybody. Doesn't fucking matter. Or let me rephrase that. I'll work with anybody once. If they're a complete fuckwit, no, not again.
In the early 2000s, I used to shoot bands with a camera. There was a cool local band I suggested we do a photo shoot that tapped into the Crazy 8 vibe from Kill Bill. The lead singer said she would buy the outfit and the rest of the band would need to buy suits. I pitched it to them, but they said that for $110 for a tailored suit for the men's warehouse was just too much money. They bought beer instead and mercifully faded from my memory and history. I only had one band in that time pay me for pictures. I will never work with musicians again. I'd rather shoot wedding after wedding with a crazy overbearing sister who believes she's the one that's getting married. Don't work with musicians. During the pandemic, I bought 2 Moogs and a drum machine. Yes, music gear is expensive, but so is camera gear. Great video. I reiterate, don't work with the musicians.
Yeah, that's something I learned pretty early on when I graduated from film school. It's like bands don't want to pay for music videos. They don't want to pay for recordings, but people will pay for weddings. So my suggestion to all you guys out there who might be coming out of film school, learn how to shoot weddings because that's where the real money is.
I have a personal studio to do music for myself and friends. All the reasons you mentioned are the reasons if I was going to the mastering route for my studio. Everyone has their home studios these days, but nobody knows much about mastering. Unfortunately, all the mastering AI plugins might be dashing those dreams though.
Might be? If you're a mastering engineer, my advice to you would be sell your gear now. Because AI is going to put you guys out of business, and I think it's only going to be a matter of time before the home studio goes bye-bye as well. That day is coming. This is going to be much like the classic car thing. Yes, they're still going to be around. Yes, you can still use them. Yes, they're going to be really cool. But in terms of practicality, no. I think all that shit's gonna just get completely sidelined by AI. I'm already working with some AI mastering. I'm using Ozone, and then I'm doing some online stuff as well, and it's all sounding pretty damn good because all a mastering engineer does is make sure your record has a certain EQ curve that's gonna work on many systems. And AI can do that job just fine. All right, guys, that's it for this episode. Once again, head on over to Spectre Digital, grab yourself a copy of Extinction Level Event. We should have version 2.0 out, and if we don't by now, it should be imminently released. And if you do buy version 1.0, you'll get 2.0 as a free upgrade. Links are in the description below. Hope to see you at the fan meetups this weekend and in London next week as well. Talk to you then. Hope to see you there. Take care.